Hello there, Aries. Welcome to your June forecast. This is an exciting month to check in because we're at that mid part of the year where you can take a look and see if you're tracking to all of your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions. And so I'm especially interested for all signs to see what's coming through. Just a reminder that you can always use this for your sun, your rising, as well as your moon sign. And if there's someone in your life that you care about, you can watch it on their behalf as well. Now, if you don't happen to know all three of those, don't worry. Just stick with the sign that you were born under, and you should get more than enough information for the month ahead. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of my returning viewers, and I'd also like to say hello to anybody that's brand new. If you haven't been here before, let me just walk through how this is structured. I begin with channeled information, and that really is me just drawing from intuition, sights, sounds, and messages. Then I extend the forecast to look at a full Celtic cross, and whatever needs to come through typically does in that portion. After that, I look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And then at the very end, there'll be a closing message. If after watching this, you really enjoy what you see and you'd like to support the channel, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Anywhere from just liking and subscribing here to joining me on social media, or if you'd like to become a patron and give some sort of a contribution, either one time or continuing, all of that helps. If you're interested, I've put some information here at the bottom of the video, but like I said, at the very end, I'll go into much more detail. Right now, I know that you're interested in the forecast, however, so without any further delay, let's get started. After selecting a deck of cards this month and meditating, this is what came through for me. The first thing was kind of a flash of what looked like the Three of Wands, which was sort of you looking at the distance, trying to focus in on something. And just as the sort of underlying message of that card is patience, it's also one of understanding that it takes time for things to happen, but they are happening. The Three of Wands shows that whatever you're trying to create or manifest, it's within reach. And not only that, but I got this sense of you being able to go the distance. This is going to be something that is worth the wait. So I wrote longevity because you really want to be looking at making changes, manifesting things, and creating something in your life that's going to last for a while. This isn't about a quick fix, and anything that's worth creating or achieving usually takes time, energy, patience, effort, etc. And I also wanted to remind you that your goal is there. It's within your grasp. You have to continue to believe in yourself, believe in it, and kind of let go of trying to control the timing element, as difficult as that may seem. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards, and I'm going to be quiet while I pull the full Celtic cross, but I will rejoin you at the end, pulling up each card and talking about what it means for you over the course of June. So I'll be right back. You have such a powerful catalyst card this month. I really, really love it. It says, through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. This is really what I try to emphasize at the end of every video, but I believe the fact that this is coming through as a catalyst, and by the way, the catalyst is what connects everything, activates everything, and can either slow down or accelerate the change that you're trying to create. The fact that this is in that area is saying that your thoughts, especially this month, are unusually potent and really able to get you where you want to be. I mentioned at the beginning in my own vision, sometimes I'll see a card, whether or not it comes in the spread, it's just kind of how the universe will speak to me sometimes. But with the Three of Wands, there's a trusting element that goes into the eventual manifestation of it. So when you see the person looking out and seeing like the boats or the movement coming towards them, it's both actual and it's also perceived or projected. So because you believe it, it happens, and then you see it. So it's a chicken and the egg sort of thing. This month, I want you to believe that you can create some sort of a change in the world or in your life. Sure, it can be one of peace, but it can also be one of change. So if there's something that you don't like, either on a global scale, a national level, or in your house or in your place of work, whatever's going on in your life, and you think, this has to shift. You can start that change this month. To use a modern term, you can create a viral movement of sorts. So it starts with a good idea, a little bit of movement, and some enthusiasm with people around you. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is to create positive shifts within your heart, within your soul, within your energy. Don't underestimate your own power this month. You can make great things happen. And as we look at the cards this month, I'll try to bring it back to this whenever something seems to sort of strike a chord with this message. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the center cards here. At the very center, we have the King of Pentacles reversed, and he's crossed by the Empress, or the lady in this deck. When I saw these two cards, I actually heard in my head, question authority. And let's just talk about both cards, and hopefully you can figure out what that might mean for you. But first of all, the King of Pentacles upright is a positive card. This would show success in business, having a really pleasant home environment. There's a paternal energy or a nurturing energy that's inherent to it as well. And it can also kind of show like a green thumb or prosperity as well. Now with the card in the reverse state, it can often be indicating someone who is maybe living an opulent life, who treats themselves too much, or is overindulging in certain areas, or is simply just not listening or tuning into a larger group. So it could be like a parental figure, a boss, or just someone who's really difficult to be around because it seems like they're always talking about themselves. So I'm seeing someone who's out of touch in your life, who I don't think is intentionally doing this, but may sort of be not listening and making some decisions, unfortunately, that could be affecting themselves and others around them in a way that's not right. So we have two kind of power cards here. We have the Empress crossing that, and that's where I was looking at someone who could be using their power and it's not maybe in the best interest. And then in the recent past, we have the Emperor card. So for some of you, there's going to be sort of this power struggle, Emperor and Empress, between right and wrong, or between someone who's out of touch, and you have to kind of find a way to bring them back down to earth. So that could be difficult for some of you. And because I have two of kind of the same suit, when I have an Emperor, Empress, or a Magician and a High Priestess, this can also indicate a very close connection, brother, sister, mother, father, or it could also be sort of like someone that you're dating. But to me, it's a tight bond. So this is sometimes harder to talk to someone with whom you have that close of a relationship, because you know how to push each other's buttons. And sometimes it's so weird when someone's in your life, you take them for granted and you may not listen to them all the time. So whichever end of the spectrum you're on, maybe you haven't been tuning into the people around you, or maybe you have someone in your life that needs to kind of come back down to earth, try to just stay open this month. And when you're talking to someone who you want to break through to, you have to find a way to let them know that it's not an attack. Say, hey, I think that I can help you with what's going on here. Are you willing to listen, etc. As I'm looking at your deep past, and this is really what's affecting the situation that we just spotlighted, we have the Six of Swords. This in the upright position can just show that it's time to move on from something, or that there's some travel or some distance that's been taking place. The reversal of this is showing that you might be missing someone, or that the reason that someone pulled back was they may have been wanting you to actually follow them, or stop them from walking away. And the reason that I'm saying this is your crowning card is the Eight of Cups. Whenever there's a breakup, an estrangement, or some sort of a separation, and I see both of these cards, especially with the reverse Six of Swords, it indicates that there needs to be a little bit of healing. You can't leave a situation the way that it was. This could be your distant past, because the Six of Swords is in the deep past. So you could be looking back at childhood, an old job, an ex-partner, an old friend that you kind of fell away from, and something maybe didn't end well. It could have been an argument over power, because we see, again, that King of Pentacles card crossed by the power card, the Empress. So if something happened where you just disagreed, or you didn't get your way, or they didn't get their way, this is a time to try to allow for some healing. Because we have the Eight of Cups in the crowning position, and then the Three of Swords in reverse, which is a lessening of pain in the near future. You could go back this time and hopefully let it go, even if it's just through meditation, because this is how we're going to reconnect it to your catalyst this month. It says, through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. So I have an old video on my YouTube channel and on my website about a contract release. You can watch it or you can just listen now, and I'll give you a highlight of what you can do. If there's someone in your life that you just feel still tethered to, even if you've been separated or you quit a job, or again, it's an ex-friend or an ex-lover, and there's still this connection between you and between that person, what you could do is say just a couple of powerful words, 2 or 3. I release you, it's 3 words. I want you to close your eyes, picture yourself in a circle of light, see their energy outside of yours, and say, these 3 words: I release you, I love you, and by releasing you, I'm going to allow for both of us to move forward. You want to allow your heart to heal and their heart to heal. Keep saying I release you until you feel your heart space open, a warmth in that center part of your body, and maybe you can imagine each of the connections that you have kind of like snapping or dissolving. And if you want to go a step further, you can rip up the contract, or you can see it kind of dissolving. You will also want to say, I would add this into the meditation, that you release all contracts, debts, and promises in this life and in others. If you do this, it's really, really powerful. And I think you'll start to feel a wonderful kind of freedom that's coming through for you. In fact, when I look at your ego card, I have the Fool card in reverse. And the positive aspects of the Fool are the ability to take a risk, to move forward, to let go of things, to take chances, to also just have fun, to sort of be free-spirited. If we stay put, we can't expect that growth to happen all of the time. We have to sometimes move forward, move on, and move outside of our comfort zones. The other big message that comes through this month is second chances. If there is something that you've had your heart set on, but it didn't work out when you were a kid, maybe for some of you it's, finishing high school or getting a college degree, or working on something where your friends, your parents, or your economic situation at the time just didn't allow for that to manifest. This is the month for that manifestation to happen. Again, in my channeled vision, I saw the 3 of Wands, and in the crowning position, we have the 8 of Cups. So these 2 really intersect nicely, where you know that, wow, if I believe it, it can happen, and I can come back and try it this time and clean things up. I'll have this feeling that I'm sort of no longer being tethered by that feeling of not succeeding. So this is a chance to try something again, and I think this time with a lot more luck, and it's more fun because we have the Fool card here in the ego. Now, as I look at your environment this month, we have the 6 of Cups, which is all about reunions, again, sort of revisiting the past, and it can also be about connecting with someone with whom you really just feel this affinity, instant connection with. So it could be, again, an old childhood friend, or you might be meeting a deep soulmate, a soul partner that you've been waiting to kind of engage with this life. And it could be a best friend, it could be a lover, it could be a teacher. It doesn't really matter here. It's just showing that there's some great friendship energy that's coming through. Now, if you're kind of a little bit more at a point in your life where you're not really looking for new friends, or you're shy, what this can also mean is that if there's something that you're trying to market, sell, or find this month, there are people there that are willing to either help you out or receive whatever it is you're trying to offer. I mention that because in the possibility space here, we have the World card, and it is reversed, but that could just be showing a delay for some of you. The World card is distribution, publication, travel, and expansion. So with the distribution or publication piece of this, if you're an author, or you have your own company, or if you're some sort of artist or actor, you could have a chance to connect to something big this month that could be really impactful for your career or for your life. The other pieces of this, though, are a chance to expand and get out of something that has been maybe languishing a bit or making you feel stagnant, because we have the 6 of Swords, travel. We have the Fool, travel. We have the 8 of Cups, travel, and the World, travel. Many of the cards, the 6 of Swords, the Fool, and the World are reversed. The 8 of Cups is upright, though, and it's saying take that chance, take that leap, take that opportunity. So if you choose to do so this month, there could be friendship, there could be partners, there could be opportunity that is waiting for you. So don't hold on to past disappointments, past pain, or anything that made you feel like you weren't able, willing, or deserving of all of this opportunity that seems to want to come through. In the outcome, we have the King of Wands card, and the King of Wands is a great sort of maturation or development of what we saw here in the catalyst, which was your thoughts and your prayers can manifest and really put you in a position of self-empowerment and also literally bringing some sort of great opportunity that could put you in a better position than you're at right now. With that in mind, I think one thing that I'd like to spotlight is that there could be a relationship that is coming apart this month. We talked about a lot of healing that could take place, but I'd be remiss to not mention that the Three of Swords can indicate an argument or a breakup. One thing that I want to also spotlight with that is that it feels like for some of you, this could have been a cyclical type thing where you break up, then you get back together. It can also be habitual in your life. If it's not a relationship, there could be sort of a habit, smoking, drinking, or something else that you're trying to release. So be strong this month because you have a chance to let it go. The World card is there within your grasp, but it requires that strength of thought, of kind of sticking with something and knowing that once you've made that decision, mind, body, and spirit, then it's going to happen. So I think that's the key thing that I'd like to highlight with that final card. I will also mention that the two personalities that are coming across here, we have the King of Wands and a reverse King of Pentacles. There is a little bit of stubbornness on both sides that are going to be that is going to be difficult for both parties to overcome. With the King of Wands, the card was upright, so it's just showing me someone that likes to stand their ground. But with the King of Pentacles reversed, there's someone who is either not aware of what's going on, unable or unwilling to sort of meet the person halfway. So depending on where you're sitting in this equation, it could just mean that, you know, you're going to have to go a little bit further to meet that other person halfway than you'd like, or simply walk away and this time decide enough is enough with the World card. Okay, so there's some choices for you to make this month, but what I really, really like is that I see a cycle that's ready to come to a close. I see for some of you a second chance. And for many of you, there could be a chance of a new person coming into your life that really feels a lot better than some of the old energy that I'm seeing here with those partnerships that seem to be about power dynamics. This time, it should be easier, it should be lighter, it should be someone who's there as a friend and as a partner. And if you're not feeling that, then remember to kind of look back at the patterns, and the Eight of Cups is allowing you to break those patterns if you'd like to this month. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at your health, wealth, love, and destiny portion. We'll begin with health. Health is a combination of mind, body, and spirit. So I'm going to turn the camera down, give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what's coming through for health. The message in your health area this month is to really take a step back and look at challenges that have come through from all perspectives, particularly when someone says no, when they reject you, when there's a breakup, when there's some sort of a block on whatever it is you're trying to create. This particular figure is a painter, and you notice that there are different voices kind of coming through and different potential ways to perceive this as well. So if you're receiving a very critical message from someone in your life, how are they sort of in their own actions and in their own life? Because what I saw earlier was someone who I probably wouldn't want to associate with either if they're too involved in themselves to see what's going on around them. In this particular example, whether you're doing the sort of breakup or they're doing the breakup, it's actually a blessing because you're removing some toxicity from your energy and from your environment. The other thing is, you can make the decision, I reject this. It could be a cycle in your life or a habit in your life. I no longer want to keep doing this. I no longer want to be around this sort of thing. And so you move away, you let it go. And this is a making and breaking card. So you can make a cycle, you can break a cycle. So you could use this month to let go of old ways and create something new. So that's exciting, and that's why this card is one where there's kind of a blank canvas, and this is really creating the opportunity. So it's a blessing. Of course, it's a mixed one because whenever you walk away from something, there's always a little bit of healing that has to happen, but there's also opportunity. So ultimately, I think this is a really great card and message, which is let go of what you no longer need. You can reject some things that need to kind of go. And if someone is saying no to you, realize that the universe works in mysterious ways and could be pushing you onto a path that is much more satisfactory. And you have a lot of support that's there if you're willing to tap into it. So don't be afraid to reach out to a friend, reach out to a counselor, get some advice from someone, because the Six of Cups card is all of those things, but the reversal is saying that either you're hesitating or you may not be aware of it. So open yourself up, take that leap if it feels right, and know that this perceived rejection ultimately may end up being something very, very positive. At the very least, it's giving you new opportunities, and that's what we see here with the World card. So don't be afraid to try something new and to move into something that allows you to really grow. So let's go ahead now and take a look at your Wealth card. Wealth isn't just money, but it's also your self-worth and how that affects opportunities coming your way, and then your relationship and your kind of energy towards new things. And are you ready for them, or are you kind of pushing them away? And with the rejection card, we want to really look at that as we shuffle the cards and see what the message is. Your card for wealth this month ironically says up, but it's upside down. And so what I really see for many of you is an opportunity to turn things around, and that really, because the message in and of itself is positive, that there's a message to not overthink things, to embrace change, to allow for things to shift and move. And the World card in reverse is showing that for some of you, this could be a chance to sell your house, get a new job, and to maybe divest some old investments or things that you've been holding on to. By changing things around, you can indeed sort of change your situation. So that's part of that message as well. And the other thing that I would say for many of you is to focus on service and generosity. And this is an interesting way to make a change when you're feeling like things aren't going your way. So when I look at the center card, we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, which can be about, sometimes it's about investing in yourself. In a positive way, this could be about going to school, getting training, deciding just to do some improvements on your own mind, body, and spirit, maybe joining the gym, etc. So the way that you could open up prosperity in your life is by giving to others, giving some time, some energy, some service. So deciding to volunteer, maybe taking some things that you no longer need and giving them to charity, or simply picking up the phone, talking to someone, or better yet, listening to someone and just being there for them. That act of giving without any need of receiving or any expectation of receiving actually pulls abundance into your life. So don't be afraid to give things away, especially when it's a little bit of love, a little bit of time, a little bit of service. And this in and of itself will actually open up the doors for more abundance to flow through your heart, through your life, and also through your money and opportunities. Let's go ahead and move along to your love card. Love is not simply romantic relationships, it's also how you're dealing with other people with that frequency of love. You know, we see some healing that needs to be done this month, so let's see where that can happen and maybe how you can create more joy, more love, more happiness in your life as well. So I'm gonna give the cards a shuffle and we'll see what the message is. So your message in love is reversed, but I want to turn it upright so you can read it. This is really talking about the importance of proximity, being close to people, especially the people that you love, and physical touch. So for some of you, you might be missing that intimacy. It highlights a hug, a pat on the back, encouragement, etc. So if you're feeling sort of that lack of connectivity between people that you love, for some of you, this could be because you're traveling for work, or you might be in a long distance relationship. Or again, there just might be some sort of separation that you're feeling. The person might be pulling away a little bit from you. If this is the case, then this is why I see so much travel this month. You either need to bridge that gap or decide maybe that this is too difficult to maintain, especially if it's a dating relationship. The other thing is, if you've been in a point in your life where you've just been very protective and it's been difficult to sort of let people in, this is perhaps what's necessary to start the healing process. And the interesting thing with this is it doesn't have to be a person. My dog is sleeping underneath my chair right now, so you can't see him, but this can also just include spending time with a pet or with nature, because nature has a way of being able to understand how and when it's appropriate to kind of come into our space. So if there's no one in your life right now that can give you that sense of being close, then it might be a good time to look for spending time with, if a friend has a pet or if you've been thinking of adopting a pet, this is something that could be good. Because it's just, all of us need to be around other people or be around other things and have that proximity. And this card is just saying, give yourself a chance to do that. I also find nature a wonderful way to connect to something. So hands-on is important this month, maybe planting things, gardening, etc. But if you're too sort of closed off, I feel like that can also just sort of be a self-perpetuating thing. And we're all about this month breaking old cycles and making new ones. So try to do things where you can be around people that give you love, support, and express that appreciation as well. The expression can also just simply be in words like, I love you. So a lot of ways to get that feeling of being nurtured, loved, and have that touch if you're looking for it. Again, it could just be animals, or it could be being out in nature where you just feel this connection. So try to do that for yourself. It will open up your heart space, and for many of you, it could create the healing that we were seeing here that was necessary earlier. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at destiny. This functions as a sort of GPS. If you like where you're headed, you can stay on that track. If not, this card often indicates how you can make some changes that would be beneficial in your life. So let's see what the message is for you. Your destiny card is all about being able to look at things from a different perspective. It says, I find deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. You also see what's symbolic of probably 1 month's passing here, or the different phases of the moon, different phases of your life. And we saw again here, this feeling of something not working, but making room for something that could be bigger, better, brighter. The month also ended with a card about strength. So as we look at everything this month, it's a chance to start over, to start again, to make or break some sort of great news cycle in your life. So I think that if you embrace it from that perspective, you could actually be inspired by the changes that are starting to happen in your life, rather than feeling like, why is it happening? So take your power back. That really is the message here, and that is your outcome card again. So some really exciting stuff for you. All right, let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, and then I will wrap up at the end with a closing message. In your channeled message, there was a reminder not to give up. If there's a goal that you're trying to achieve, it is within reach. Not only that, but I saw a longevity attached to it, something that you would be happy doing for a while, and it's something that could last for a while as well. We see that here with the World card. It could make a big impact or a big splash. What's important this month is that you believe in yourself, and know that the power of your beliefs, your prayer, your meditation can actually be something that physically creates some sort of a reality in your life. That ripple effect, both internally and externally, is going to be something that can inspire others and even change the world if it's something that you want to. If you're not happy with something politically or socially or in your family or in your workplace, your own ability to sort of get behind and inspire others to make that change happen will be what makes a difference. So don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate the value or the volume even of one voice. It can make a big difference. At the center, we see that there could be some costs at the beginning of the month that might be weighing heavily on you with the King of Pentacles in reverse. You might also be deciding to focus a little bit on things like education, working out, mental, physical fitness, etc. The only thing that I'm seeing with this is there is a sort of nudge to try to put some of that energy into the surroundings here, and we saw that when we looked at wealth. Give back to others. So if you're in a place where you've achieved a lot, this is a great month to decide to be a mentor. And do it for free if you can. Do some sort of volunteer work or service, or just give away some things in your life that you don't need anymore, because that's going to create a positive flow of energy. It's showing I have more than enough, and it and it interestingly enough will open up new opportunities in your life. There is a little bit of a power struggle here as we look at the Emperor and the Empress right next to each other. There's a lot of cards of shifting and in some cases even a little bit of struggle when it comes to those relationships. When we look in the deep past, for some of you there's a theme of letting go, but interestingly enough coming back together. So one of the cycles this month that you can break is either addiction to a food or a drug, or sometimes even a relationship. So this cycle is something that wants to end, and it feels like it can. For the rest of you, if you're happy in your life, this can be about creating more joy and starting new cycles of fitness, well-being, and love. With the two power cards that we have here, the Emperor and the Empress, there's also a desire to sort of break free. This means for some of you quitting a job, moving to a new location, taking a trip, or looking back at something that you've kind of let go and trying it again. So a lot of healing and a lot of shifting going on over the course of this month. And also in that process, new friendships and partnerships can come through. Ultimately, this is going to lead to a sense of empowerment, which is exciting. And I can't wait to see how that works out for many of you. Try to, if you can this month, look at any sort of setbacks or perceived rejection as a chance to create something new. Really, it's up to you on how you receive this sort of block in your life. Know that everything that happens is there for a reason, and you have many choices in how you want to kind of process that. We talked about being able to sort of pay it forward, to help others, to donate, to dedicate things, dedicate your time to others, or again, volunteer. That's going to make a big difference in allowing not only for your heart to heal, but also for prosperity to continue to flow through. There's a need for many of you to kind of have closer proximity to others in your life. And this could be animals, this could be plants, this could be people, but it feels like you need to have more connection, more proximity, and more one-on-one time. So try to get yourself out there. That's I think why we have so many cards of perspective and travel. The Six of Swords, the Fool, the World, the Eight of Cups, they're all encouraging you to go out and see the world. Finally, in the outcome, what we see here is that through whatever trials and tribulations come your way, there is growth, there is expansion, there is movement, and that's really what this is all about. So that brings your monthly reading to a close. I hope that this gave you everything that you need to really embrace all of the opportunities coming through. So much shifting, so much change, and so much, at the end of the day, empowerment that really results from what we saw this month. If you ever feel like you want to chat a little bit more about what we discussed here, or maybe delve into a different part of your life that really I didn't have a chance to look at in the general reading, then feel free to reach out to me. The first card and the first link below the video is a way for you to connect with my booking site, and you can check out my rates and availability there. And if that makes sense, then I can't wait to talk to you one-on-one. Otherwise, if you just like what you see here and you would like a way to support this kind of content, there's a very easy way to do that. You can click on the second card and the second link below the video, and this will take you to a page on my site where you can make either a one-time contribution or an ongoing one. And it can either be through the website itself, or you can join me on something like Patreon as well. There's a lot of options, and choose whatever feels best for you if it's something that you've been called to do. And know that if you've been one of my past patrons that have helped me out, this video was a direct result of your love and generosity, and it really helps me set up the time that I need to do this. And so anyway, if you like them done expediently and you enjoy the content, consider that second link and know that it will really help me out. So if you just like to say thank you, you can like, subscribe, and also share what you see here. Join me on social media by clicking that third link or the third card. And what that'll do is take you to a landing page on my website where you can join me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and also subscribe to my newsletter. If you like what you see and you want to also post it on your timeline, that takes it one step further. And if we go back to the catalyst, it helps make a ripple effect. So in advance, I'd like to thank any of you that are willing or ready to do that. And I'd like to now kind of wrap up with your closing message. We saw here at the end that everything that happens is happening for a reason. There really isn't any blocks or pitfalls or failures in one's life. They're just kind of, they feel like that when you're going through it. Everything is kind of like setting you up for a more successful and a more positive end result. So if you can go through these things and know that, like the phases of the moon, everything will change. It's the one constant. Change always happens. It's always shifting you. Then you have the power this month to recreate something if you've lost it, or to shake a habit that you don't want. And this is really where you are the creator of your own life. You are the author, the painter, the artist. And if you can see it as a creation rather than something that's coming at you or happening to you, then it puts you in a position of power. And hopefully that's where you guys are sitting at the end of this month, just like the King of Wands. From the bottom of my heart to yours, I wish you love, abundance, and happiness now and always. And I also wish you this longevity that I was tuning into at the beginning. Not just longevity in life, but also prosperity and longevity in whatever projects you're creating. You've earned it, you deserve it. Don't give up, okay? I'll see you again next month. Take care.